My overemployed friends, today we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated skills for landing job interviews, acing job interviews, performing better at your job, and honestly just becoming a better person overall. And that skill is communication. And to piggyback off of that, we've partnered with Mock AI, which is a mock interview tool powered by AI, which lets you submit voice answers based on preset or custom interview questions. And it gives you real-time AI feedback and ratings based on the answers that you submitted. So if you want to sign up for the free beta access, there's a link in the description, pinned comment below, so sign up today for that. So communication, why is communication important? So the number one reason communication is important, because you as a person, as a human, whether you're a software engineer, marketer, it doesn't matter, just as a human, you have intrinsic value. But no one will see that value or understand that value unless you can communicate it properly and unless you can communicate with other people properly. So what I mean by this is you have to understand not only the way you say things, but the timing you say things. So if you want to get your point across, you have to understand both of those aspects, right? So you have to know how to speak things correctly, but also how to place them correctly, right? So say them at the right time, right place to the right person. And the way you really master this is something that a lot of you might not be doing, right? Especially if you're in tech, especially if you're in marketing, whatever. So why is communication important? I think the number one reason communication is important is because if you have great intrinsic value and skill sets to offer to the world, if you can't communicate that effectively, no one will ever give you a chance and you won't get the results that you deserve. There's countless people in this world that have had very little value to offer to the outside world, but because solely on their communication skill set, they've been able to achieve amazing success, right? Just because they've been good communicators, they have amazing success. So if you can't communicate well, you won't get what you deserve. So think of this even like as a hiring manager in an interview like we talked about before. If you're a manager and you only have 30 minutes to an hour to make a judgment call on a candidate, you want to pick the best person, right? You're going to be potentially paying this person 6 figures a year. You want to make sure you're making the right choice. So you as a candidate have only a very short time period to effectively communicate that you're the right pick. So you damn well better be effective at that, right? That's one of the most important things of the interview, just communication, right? And how do you become a better communicator? Well, first, I think we should talk about what even entails a good communicator. I think the first thing is the way you structure your speech, right? Knowing what to say at the correct time. The other thing is knowing who you're talking to, knowing who your target audience is. If you're at an interview, your target is a hiring manager, right? So you have to frame your speech differently than you would to your friend or to a coworker. And then the timing of the things you say, right? So when to say certain things, how to lead up to whether it's a story from a past job experience, whether it's a side project you've worked on, right? And all of this is an amazing skill set to master because it'll make you an effective person in every realm of life. So if you know what to say, when to say, and how to say it to the correct person, that's how you'll really become an expert communicator. And I'm going to give you guys actually very actionable steps here to practice this, right? You can really become an expert by yourself if you just try. So the number one thing is you have to talk way more. A lot of you are in tech or something and you work from home and you barely talk, right? The most you maybe talk is a couple of stand-ups or a meeting every now and then, and maybe over Slack or Zoom or Teams chat. And a lot of you are even very poor at communicating over chat platforms because the way you talk over chat is a representation of the internal dialogue in your brain, which is representative of the way you talk to your friends, family, people in the outside world, right? So speech carries over to chat platforms. And if you're poor in speaking, you're also going to be poor in texting. And the way you master this, really, the number one way is just talking way more. So get outside. I don't care if it's in a coffee shop, your friends, your family, speak about anything and everything. And really try to push yourself in terms of, like, make a little goal for yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to talk to this person, but my goal for here will be to convince them to stay at this location so we don't go out to that party tonight, whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be maniacal. It doesn't have to have a good meaning. Just have these little small goals and try to lead people to conclusions based on your goal of how you want to communicate that properly. If you fail, then you'll know you didn't communicate that well, right? So practice as much as you can speaking everywhere and anywhere. And the number two tip I have is you can try recording yourself, right? So a lot of you are going to cringe. A lot of you are going to feel uncomfortable and awkward, but try recording yourself either speaking about a topic you're interested about or even answering an interview question, whatever it is, record it and then play the audio back. So listen to yourself. Listen to what you sound like, because I guarantee a lot of you have never done this, and you'll be surprised how poor a lot of you are at speaking. Now, part of it just going to be you're nervous because you're recording yourself, but that doesn't matter. Just keep doing it over and over, and you'll notice your faults. You'll notice the aspects of your speech that are lacking. And from here, you can make small tweaks, small improvements, some optimizations, and you'll get better and better the more you record yourself. So do those two things. Master those two things, just do them over and over and over. And you have to realize that communication for most people is a very poor skill set. It's not really pushed too much in society, and it's accepted to be a mediocre speaker because people think of people that are good speakers kind of like either as con men or people that are super extroverted. People think public speaking, for example, is a rare skill set to have, but none of this has to be true, right? As long as you practice this, anyone can be a master communicator. It'll take a lot of time and effort, but anyone can do this. You don't have to be a certain extroverted type of unicorn person. Anyone can do this. You just have to put the effort in, just like anything else. So practice your speech, and the better you become at speaking, the better your life will become, because you'll get the things that you really deserve. A lot of you, it really makes me mad because a lot of you have amazing skill sets and personalities, and you have so many things to offer to the world, but you don't communicate it properly, and you've never practiced communicating. Some of you don't even, not even about being poor communicators, some of you don't even communicate it at all because you're too scared to. You've never tried. And the more you communicate, the more you speak, you'll become more comfortable, you'll do this more often, and you'll get better results overall in life. So trust me, just do it. If you have any other tips just like this one about communication, leave them down in the comments below. Let me know if you agree. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.